All right, my friends, welcome back to another episode. So on this episode, we're going to be covering some basics here. We're going to be covering trading, what the trading system is, how to use it, some tips and tricks with it. I'm going to be demonstrating multiple things with it. And pretty much trading is receiving or sending items from one player to another. You can do this through the marketplace. You can do this through private trades. There's multiple ways to do this, but they all have certain rules that you have to follow. So easiest way to explain this is looking at this. You have zones. So if you see this white line on the map here, where it blocks these off into what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 9 sections in a whole. If you're looking at the boss map, the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 9 zones is what they're called. So you have 9 zones, and they each represent something. So going back to this, you have the northwest zone because it's north and it's west. So you have the northwest zone, you have the north zone, which the Raven Ridge is in the north zone. You have the northeast zone, the western zone, central zone, eastern zone, southwest zone, south zone, and the southeast zone. So those are the zones that you have. Now, why is that important? Well, let's say that you have a character, I don't know, let's just say up here in the northeast zone, and you have another character down here at the south zone. And you want to trade, you want to send money or an item from this guy down here to this guy. Well, you cannot do that. The only way that you can do that is if both characters are in an actual outpost like Sekirnon Bunker, Fort Pasture, Nostias, things like that. If they're not in there, and let's say you're barricaded in a house anywhere in these zones, right? Not the outpost, but like you barricaded in a house or building, then you cannot trade anybody unless they're in the same zone. So I'm going to explain how this works and some tips and tricks with this. Now, I do believe Raven Ridge, Volcrest, whatever you want to call it, Camp Volcrest is kind of its own thing. It does not connect to the other outposts. And I believe our new Southeast Zone outpost, Ground Zero, is the same way. So Ground Zero and Volcrest are excluded from trading outposts from one to the other. So like, for example, dogs can trade with Sekirnon, but Raven Ridge or, Camp Volcrest, whatever you want to call it, it cannot, and neither can Ground Zero. So just keep that in mind. Those are the 2 in-game areas, and they cannot trade with other areas. Now, I'm going to show you how this system works. I have my guy Zega here, right? So I have Zega, and I have an offer for 14mm rifle bullets. I have Yabazar sending me these bullets. But if you look, I cannot accept that, right? It's grayed out. Well, if I go back to the outpost, I am in the eastern zone. So your outpost, eastern zone. Looking back at the map, where's the eastern zone? Oh, the eastern zone is right here. I know because I ran down here. My character Zega, I went from Sekirnon Bunker, I went straight down. You see this line? I just barricaded right here. So this is still the eastern zone. Now if I go up 1 block, you see this? So I'm right here. If I go up 1 block, I'm now in a whole new zone, if that makes sense. So I'm going to show you why that matters. So I'm going to take Zega. I'm right here in the eastern zone. I'm going to run up 1 block, and I'm going to barricade, okay? So again, eastern zone. Now watch what happens. Hang on 2 seconds. Alright guys, so I took my character, I took Zega, and I went from here, and I went 1 block up, right? So now, if you go back to my character, now I'm in the northeastern zone. Again, I went from this block, the eastern zone, 1 up, that put me in the northeastern zone. So again, it's reflecting right here, right? My outpost, I am now in the northeastern zone. So why does that matter? Alright, well, let's go back to my trades. Let's go back to my private Yabazar. Okay, well now it shows that I'm in the northeast zone, but Yabazar is in an outpost zone. I still can't accept. And I want to trade this guy. I want these 14mm rifle bullets, right? So why can I not trade? Well, he is in an outpost zone. So I know that Yabazar, right, this guy, I know that my friend is over here at Sekirnon Bunker in the outpost. Well, I know that I, Zega, am down here and I went up and I barricaded here, right? So I'm not out the outpost, he's at the outpost, but we're both in this same zone, right? So the easiest way, if you don't want to run up there, you know, let's say he was up here, it doesn't matter, he was far away, right? And you're in the same zone, but you're just far away. The easiest way to do it is to have both of the characters barricade in the same zone. So for example, I'm going to tell my friend Yabazar, hey, go out there and barricade in the northeast zone, okay? Now let's see what happens. All right, so my friend went out, he barricaded, he is in the northeast zone, I am in the northeast zone, and look at that. I can now hit accept. And now I can tell my friend, hey man, I accepted the trade. Can you go out and accept yours? So let me show you real quick. Sorry, I got another screen up here. Okay, so he accepted his. Let's refresh. Here we go, collect trades. So there's the 14mm. I accepted, he accepted. And again, when you're trading, it does get confusing, guys, because there's a lot of trading menus. You have buying, you have selling, you have private, you have item for item. You know, there's multiple different trading menus, so it does get confusing. For item, come down here after you both accept and click collect trade items. So now I have accepted these trades. There's the 14mm rounds, hit collect. And I do think that, you know, there's some modifications there that we can make to make it better. I think the trading is kind of sketchy, but, you know, hopefully this guide kind of helps you guys with that. But anyway, there's my 1200 rounds, and that's how those sections work. So again, he was in an outpost. He was in Sekernom. I was down here, and it would not trade. But if he came out and barricaded, we're both in the same section. Now, what is the trick with this? Okay, well, let's just say that I have my character Zega, and, you know, I have a character up here at Sekernom. Let's say I go up here and barricade with this other character and send Zega some nails. All right, well, Zega accepts the trade, gets the nails, right? Well, Zega only has to go down one block, and then he can barricade. Okay, well, if I have another alt account, say right here, or right here, it doesn't matter. I can go up one, barricade, and I can get items from Zega. So you can transfer from one, it's like throwing a football, right? As long as the people are in the same zone, you can pass to them. So if you have 3 or 4 alts, you can make a chain where you stage a character here, stage a character here, and you can literally transfer from Sekernom to here, from here to here, from here to here, and you can get things moved from one side of the map to the other. Again, it does take multiple characters, but I've done it multiple times. A lot of people have done that. It's just, once you get a character in those locations, it's pretty easy. You just give them some barricade kits, make sure they can get to and from each other, and you just put them on these white lines. It makes it very easy. Obviously, you can fast travel if you don't want to deal with any of that, but that is a system that people use to get items to and from places. But again, you got to be in the same zone, right? You got to make sure your characters are in the same zone, or outpost. So that works as well. And I also want to show you that. So just hang tight for 1 second here. All right. So my friend is at Sekernom Bunker, and Zega is here at Precinct 13. Okay. So if I go to Marketplace, item for item, there's Yabazar. It shows that he's at an outpost, and I am at an outpost. He's already accepted. Now I can accept, and I will get this shirt. Go to collection box, retrieve my items. Let me go to his. Hold on 1 second. All right, so he has the shirt. So he just got it on his account, and you can see that now he has the shirt that I collected. So again, he's at a different outpost than me. So outposts work differently than the zones. So again, looking at the zones, if I'm not out on outpost and I'm barricaded here, he's barricaded here, we can pass the football and catch and receive, right? That's the northeast zone. We were both in it. Now, if I'm at Sekernom, or he's at Sekernom, and I'm back here at Precinct 13, we're not in the same zone, but since he's at an outpost, I'm at an outpost, we can still trade, okay? It's just like the marketplace. The marketplaces are connected. Like, let's do this. 8B. Okay, Neurotonin 8B is $1,999. $8B, $1,999, right? That's fine and dandy. So we share the Outpost marketplace. So again, Sekrenon Bunker, Fort Pasture, Precinct 13, Nastia's, they all share the same marketplace, okay? Now what changes is, let's just say, where's fast travel? We're going to fast travel. We're going to go to Ground Zero. We're going to go to the marketplace. Now look. 6,909. So the price changed, right? So the marketplace is not linked in Ground Zero, and I believe Camp Volkris as well. So those two outposts are not linked to all the other outposts. So you can't trade. Like, I could not trade my friend that's in Sekrenon from Ground Zero. Only the other outposts. And again, he's not in the same zone, so again, I cannot trade him. So anyways, I hope that makes sense, guys. And then one last thing I want to do. Let me fast travel. Let me go back to Sekrenon. All right, I'm going to pause this and resume here in 2 seconds. I want to show you one more thing. Just hang tight. Before I go out there, I want to show you guys how to barricade. So looking at my inventory, I have a barricade kit and a barricade kit. Now, you don't have to have a barricade kit. You can actually do it with 1 wood and 1 plank. So if I come over here to the marketplace, let's just do this. I'm going to grab wooden planks. I'm going to grab a thing of wooden planks. And I'm going to grab a thing of nails. All right. So let me grab some cash out. I now have a thing of wooden planks and a thing of nails, right? If I go to crafting, all right, so look at this. I have a nail and a plank, all right? If I come down here, there's a barricade kit. It costs $7,500, and I can craft. Now watch, these 2 spots down here, I now have 1 spot. I have a barricade kit. Now, I did pay $7,000 for that, right? That is expensive, but think of it this way. If I'm looting down in the Southeast Zone, you know, Camp Volkris, it doesn't matter where, just looting. And I find one item that's worth 20 grand, let alone 40, let alone an implant, let alone anything else, a mastercrafted item, it's gonna repay the $7,500 spot and give you excess money, right? 13,000, 20,000, a lot more money. If you do this, let's say you do 10 loot runs, that's 10 extra storage spaces at 20K. You know, you're going to have $200,000, $400,000 just from barricading. So I always make barricade kits. And then the other thing I do is I always keep 2 on me. Now let me show you why. I'm going to show you guys real quick how to barricade. So to barricade, you need at least a plank and nail. You can make it a barricade kit, doesn't matter, same thing. And then you need a claw hammer. Okay, so 1 plank and nail and a claw hammer. So get wooden planks and grab some nails. Then you're going to go to you're going to go into the city. Let's say I'm doing my looting, right? Whatever it is, I just looted the hospital and my inventory's full, and I don't want to run all the way back to the outpost to put my stuff in storage. All right, so we're going to pretend that's what just happened. All right, my inventory's full, and I don't want to run back to the bunker because it's really far away. So I'm going to find a house that's nice and close. Oh, look, here's a house. Here's a building. All right, now, before you start barricading, see, if you go up to the door, it says hold B to barricade, and then it starts counting. A couple things you want to watch for. If I'm holding B right now, an enemy, a leaper, could walk in and smack me, and then I'm dead. So you always want to be ready to move and be ready to kill, right? Because that could be very bad. The other thing you want to do is you don't want to barricade, like right here, and then realize, oh crap, it won't let me go in my outpost. Why? And then you see that there is a second door right here. So you always want to check your house that you're in, see how many doors there are, because that's gonna say how many planks and nails you need. It takes 1 plank and 1 nail per door. So if I only brought 1 plank and 1 nail, I cannot barricade this house. You have to have enough to barricade all the doors. So we're going to go ahead and barricade this one, and then we're going to run over there and barricade that one. All right, so that door is barricaded. Zombies will not come through that. Let's run down here. Let's barricade this. Okay, now it says O to go in outpost mode. If there was zombies down here, it wouldn't let you. You'd have to kill them all. Or one of the cheats you can do, let's say there's a lot of zombies, you don't want to fight them, just go up the stairs, and typically the room is clean, and you can just hit O. All right, so now we're in the outpost. What is different from an outpost compared to a bunker, right? Or an outpost, a normal outpost? Well, one is we're in an eastern zone, right? We're in whatever zone we're in. And also, if you look, I don't see a marketplace, right? So you don't have a normal marketplace. This is different than what you guys are used to. So like, if I type in 8B, look how much money I'm going to pay, right? Because what it is if you're looking at the map, like Second on Bunker, the marketplace there, it's trading with all these other outposts, right? There's lots of resources, lots of people trading. People are selling and buying there all the time. Now the zones are their own sort of window, okay? Own section, right? So right now with me being in the northeastern zone, when I go to trade, I'm buying, like let's say 8B, I'm buying items that people are selling in their zone. So these aren't being sold from the bunker. They're being sold from an outpost, other people that are barricaded in this zone. So since there's not as many people are going to charge a lot. And a lot of times, look at that, nails. So if you forget nails, if you forget planks, go pay $100 million for a nail, right? You're not going to do that, obviously, but I have paid a ton of money for nails. And the reason I say that, let's say you're down here at the southeast zone, and before this outpost was here, and you don't want to run all the way back, right? Would you pay $300,000 for a nail? Because I would. I'm that lazy. I'm going to pay $300,000 and not have to go run all the way back up. So make sure you guys have nails and you guys have planks, and then go to your storage. I always keep some extras in there, like right here. Plank. But typically there's nails, so I make sure that I have some extra. And then you can put your stuff in your storage, fill up your storage, and resume your looting. Go back to the inner city, which we're going to do. I already put all my stuff away. I healed up, all that stuff, just like normal. And I'm going to go finish my looting. And I don't have to go back to the bunker, right? You go back to the bunker once you're done. When you are done looting, you're ready to go sell everything, all this stuff, then go back. Now to get back, like I want to leave, but I can't, that door's there. It says down here, hold B to remove. So now I'm going to remove this barricade and I can go back out. One last tip, real quick, guys. So if you guys, let's say you went out, you started looting again, you filled up, and you're like, girl, this is great. I got to go put my stuff back in my storage. Go back to the same building you were just in. Same building I was just in, right? Check this out. This door that I barricaded, it's still barricaded. So now, instead of having to have 2 planks and 2 nails, I only have to have 1 plank and 1 nail because that door stayed barricaded. It stayed that way. So it'll save you if you keep going back to the same house. And some houses only have 1 door. So, just food for thought. But anyways, I wanted to make this video because it can be confusing. There's a lot of things to trading and barricading and all that stuff. So it's been a while since I did one of these. A lot of you guys know this stuff, but the new players, they need to know too. So anyways, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. Join our Discord. We have over 300 members. Doesn't cost you guys a dime. 100% free. Link in description below. And again, smash that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment in the comment section below, guys. And let me know what kind of videos you want to see next, because I need you guys to feed me ideas, give me more content. And really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. And until then, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.